what's up? Check out this blunt and honest review from the Jock and Nerd Podcast. That's us. My name is Imran.
My name's Anthony.
He's the jock.
He's the nerd.
And he's the rug boy.
What's up, guys?
Jock and Nerd. It's The Running Man. Here is your spoiler alerts.
Strap yourselves in, you fucks. Spoiler time.
This is produced and directed and written by Edgar Wright. Michael Bacall helping him on the writing duties. It is the second adaptation of the 1982 Stephen King novel under his pen name, Richard Bachman. I forget what the first name is. Something Bachman. Of course, the first adaptation being the Schwarzenegger movie from 87, which is lots of fun. This one, on the Rotten Tomatoes, critics are giving it 65% tomato meter. Audience score here, 80%. On Metacritic, critics score 56. Anthony, you know what I'm going to ask you.
I'm not ready. Let me look it up real quick.
I love making him look it up on the fly. Letterboxd.
Letterboxd has it at a 3.3. So
3.3.
Like usually around when you're around that lower than 3.5, It's like just slightly above average.
Okay, makes sense. Budget for this one, $110 million. And we're recording a day early on Sunday, so I don't have final numbers, but it looks like the movie's coming in, opening at number 2 with $17 million domestically. And globally sitting just at $28.2 million, which means Anthony won the over-under from the end of last episode.
I told you.
Fuck.
You were so... It was such fool's gold for you to be like that. You were so buzzing about Predator Badlands that you thought, oh, this is going to work.
Just needed to make $4 million more, and I would have been right. But it was, I guess it's not really that
Two
close.
reasons. One, Running Man's not a thing.
Yeah.
Two, there are no movie stars anymore.
Yeah, we'll discuss that. Those are two very good points. Number one, it was beaten out by the Now You See Me 3. Now You See Me, Now You Don't.
Oh, really?
Yeah, which apparently had more female turnout than men for that movie. That one made like 23 million. And then Predator opens at number 3 with just 13. So Predator went from 40 million to 13 million. But Now You See Me opened at number 1. This is kind of weird.
Wow.
The Running Man, this one stars Glenn Powell, of course, as the lead, Ben Richards. You also have great actors like William H. Macy, Lee Pace, Michael Cera. You got Amelia Jones, Sean Hayes, quick cameo, Coleman Domingo, and Josh Brolin. Anthony,
yes.
What happens in this R-rated 2-hour, 13-minute Edgar Wright version of The Running Man?
The Running Man is in a dystopian future, I believe, where Ben Richards, played by Glenn Powell, has a sick daughter and is not able to find work. He's been fired from jobs for being a good man, and he's down on his luck and needs to support his family, who's, like I said, his daughter's sick, and he's got a wife who's trying to support the family through shitty ways. So Ben Richards decides to sign up for The Running Man, which is a popular TV show that exists in this universe where if you can survive for 30 days, you win a lot of money. And along the way, each of those days you survive, you win money that gets sent to your family. And we follow Ben Richards as he's trying to survive the 30 days within the Running Man show and deal with all the obstacles that are stacked up against him.
Yeah, the obstacles being a group of hunters and the general population that is encouraged to record and report. You know what's funny about, you said dystopian future. Ironically enough, Stephen King's 1982 book is set in 2025.
Oh, no kidding.
Which is, so it's a dystopian present. And this is a lot more faithful to the book. Opening thoughts, Anthony, let's just start with you.
Opening thoughts. This movie was one of those where I said on the show, this has potential. You know, remakes generally aren't always the best idea, but I thought there was a lot more to mine in the Running Man lore. I think the original, while it was funny, wasn't really loyal to the book.
Right.
It was more of a vehicle for Arnold to do some crazy stuff. And I thought there was a lot more within that world to mine and explore and make social commentary on. Then you add in the fact that Edgar Wright is doing this film, and I went, okay, like this is all interesting. You know, Edgar Wright's a visionary type director. He has his own voice, has his own style, and I said it on an instant reaction, and my thoughts haven't changed. I felt like this was a pretty disappointing movie for me. My opening thought is I felt like there was a lot of individual cool things, but I never felt like the movie kicked into another gear. And by the end, I thought the plot was really convoluted and very confusing. And the ending really soured me because of the fact that it was so confusing and I couldn't really understand how we had gotten to the point we did in that movie, especially with the odds stacked the way they were against Ben Richards' character played by Glenn Powell. So, and then the last thing on this, and I'll kick it over to you guys, is I actually felt like this movie there are some cool little like visuals and maybe some edits that were kind of fun. But for the most part, I felt like this movie even lacked a lot of Edgar Wright's personality. I thought it was very generic at times. And if I'm going to go see an Edgar Wright movie, I want my fucking heart pounding. I want to see some fast edits. I want to see some needle drops. I want to see all sorts of shit that keeps you at the edge of your seat. And I felt like he didn't do that in this movie. And I thought that was really strange too. So like there was a lot of just different, like a lot of things to discuss that were against this movie. But I found it to be quite disappointing. And I didn't actually, sad to say, I didn't really have that great of a time during that movie.
Oh, okay. Ruggs, opening thoughts?
Let's see. I went into this movie with the lowest of the lowest expectations.
Oh, really?
These reviews it was getting murdered with reviews. So I was like, this is going to be a huge piece of shit. I was waiting to see this huge piece of shit. And I was like, no, this isn't really a piece of shit. It just missed the mark. Yeah. I think it missed the mark in lots of ways, but I'm like, this is definitely not a disaster like they've been saying. And so, while I can't sit there and say recommend this movie and it's a great, great movie, but it was not the disaster that I was planning on seeing. I mean, I saw some takes, some reviews that just eviscerated this film. And I was like, all right, like the biggest thing, I think that there's two things working against this film. Number one is the original Running Man with Arnold.
Right.
That's a fun, adrenaline-filled, machismo action movie. You can really have fun with that movie. And then you have Edgar Wright and what he brings to the table and what he's done in the past and the types of movies that he does, like Baby Driver and Scott Pilgrim and his sensibilities. And so you're going to it was fighting those two things because you're going in looking for an Edgar Wright film and he didn't give you that. He gave you something that was kind of a paycheck movie, or like he followed the numbers, like, you know what I mean? He painted by numbers, but it also wasn't the Running Man, the original adrenaline filled movie. It was something in between. And it's a completely different movie. It's not this wall to wall action film. It's trying to say something. It's trying to be about like how these corporate companies are taking over the world, and the world's going to become dystopian if we allow it to be that way. And so I don't know if any of those things work, but I don't think I didn't see the disaster that everyone else saw. Mm-hmm. I saw that, like, listen, there were some action scenes that are actually pretty good. I thought that Glenn Powell, he's not quite hitting it 100%, but what he did hit was good. And I have a lot of issues with the movie in general, but I just don't see it as this trash fire that everyone's calling it. I think it's a misfire.
Yeah. But
I don't think it's terrible. I think it's a very mid-level movie, I would say.
Okay. Yeah. I was a little more excited for this than Predator in our most anticipated for the remaining of this year because of Edgar Wright and the material. And I felt a lot like both of you guys, a lot like Anthony, in where I just thought it was okay. But at the end of the movie, I was a little disappointed. I do like that it's more faithful to the book. Like the story that they're giving us is kind of interesting. It's a wildly different movie.
If they landed the ending, you would.
Yes, they changed the ending. We will talk about that. But there is, like you said, guys said, there's decent action bits. There's decent performances. Like Michael Cera, Coleman Domingo, I really enjoyed. They stuck out. But I was digging the first 2 acts. I was like, okay, I'm with you. And just like you said in your Patreon thing, Anthony, like you're waiting for it to kick into gear. And then the third act, I thought it was very convoluted and confusing. And I was like, wait, what just happened? What is going on? It kind of falls apart.
Yeah, they rushed to the end.
The hunters really don't have as much personality as
that's one of the biggest fails,
because and we have, the Schwarzenegger movie to blame, where they gave us these great characters and these great one-liners, but
you also imagine Edgar Wright, like he did with Scott Pilgrim.
Yeah,
each enemy is kind of a thing.
Yeah. So after it was done, I really just didn't even like connect with the characters or feel anything, and it seemed stuck somewhere between wanting to be a dystopian sci-fi or a campy action movie.
Yep,
couldn't really figure it out. They got stuck in the middle. And I do agree with you, Anthony. It seems like a very generic, safe Edgar Wright movie. Could use more Edgar Wright things. But I want to start this whole discussion with Glenn.
So let's start at the beginning and talk about the plot.
Yes, in the very first scene. No, look. Oh, I like this. Look, there's a lot of themes they're dealing with, and the themes are relevant. But they don't really dive into them.
Can I comment on that? I think to Ruggs's point, I do agree. It's not a disaster. I think it's just a disappointment.
Yes,
for me at least.
Yes,
and I do agree with you. You hit on something, Imran. There, I think the movie is stuck in. It feels like it's stuck between fun action dystopian future movie, but also trying to actually say something.
Yeah, be commentary, social commentary.
Yeah, and I don't know that the themes that any of you guys are mentioning, I think they're all there,
right?
But it just didn't hit for me. And I think the reason it didn't hit for me personally is I didn't really get fully invested in Richards' character.
Yes.
And I was thinking about why that is the case.
Yes.
And I think a part of that for me is like you get the premise of the sick daughter and you meet her right away and you see that she's sick and they don't have any medicine, and they play it up like she's got, a day to live or something.
Right.
He's got to do something desperate. So he signs up for the Running Man, which is 30 days. And I went, oh my God, 30 days. She's going to die.
That's from the book. Yeah.
But the thing is, you never see that family again.
No, you don't.
So you lose all the heart.
End. Yes.
Yeah. So all of that connection you built to like, oh, he's doing this to save his family. Like they never cut to them.
Yeah. There's a lot of things that would have helped this movie. And there's things like what Imran mentioned before is like the hunters having more of a personality. And I think also, that family being involved more. In the original Running Man with Arnold, the kidnapped person happens early on in the film.
Yeah.
And that person becomes like kind of like a foil for Arnold.
Right.
And they needed that in this movie.
But in this one, the girl shows up out of nowhere at the end. And
in the last like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Wait,
but I think maybe that's how the book is. I don't know.
On the freeway when he hijacks the car to get to the plane. And then this girl is like a big deal, but we just
that girl really felt kind of nowhere.
Yeah, she just came out, and then he shoves her out of the plane with the parachute at the end. What's crazy though, if you think about Stephen King wrote this in 1982, and he this shit is still relevant. He predicted like reality game shows and deepfakes and AI and the class warfare and media controlling the narrative and corporations running everything. Is kind of wild. It's also funny that
it doesn't hit as hard because now we're in it.
Yes, we've seen all it's instead of being this dystopian future, it's just what's happening now. So
I think he was trying to also hit on the they're manipulating us. They want us to. They're the whole thing with they're keeping Glenn Powell alive. They're squeezing Richards alive, and then there's people that are investigating this and be like, no, it's like the government's manipulating you. I think they were trying to really lean into that, but I don't know if they fully nailed the tone that they wanted throughout the movie or the flow of the tone, because they're changing the tone throughout.
Yes.
And I think that it felt more of just abrupt changes rather than a natural flow of the story.
Well, and the modern thing he added was the YouTuber part of it. The YouTuber who's trying to expose them, anonymously. But this
Right.
it ends up being like a Black Mirror episode, and Black Mirror does it fucking better than this. So, but listen, I think so in my Patreon review, I think a big part of this is Glenn Powell. And I said, I'm not, I don't know if I'm sold on this guy or I'm a fan or if I even like him.
I think that this movie helped me. I was iffy on him before.
Yes.
And I actually think after I saw this movie, I was like, okay, he's not quite there yet, but he's getting there.
So I think that's accurate because he has the physique, he has the chops to do the action. And actually, he just hosted Saturday Night Live last night. And he's pretty funny. Like, I think he does the comedy well. The humor in this movie was okay. But
you know what I think of what it is? I wouldn't say like Glenn Powell per se.
Yeah.
But I think the script doesn't do him any favors because Glenn Powell's a naturally pretty charismatic and charming kind of guy.
Very likable. Everybody likes him.
But the script asks him to be just fucking angry.
Right. I didn't think
like that's his whole shtick is he's fucking pissed off the whole movie.
And I didn't really buy it.
I didn't buy it either.
Yeah.
I didn't buy that he was that angry.
Because imagine
he's miscast as an angry guy.
Yeah.
Bruce Willis, like diehard Bruce Willis in this role. Like that's the kind of guy you need. Someone that
I agree. I would agree. No, I agree. I do agree. I think Glenn Powell
or Alan Richardson or something like that.
Yeah, maybe an Alan Richardson.
But like when they're asking him questions and then Josh Brolin's like, oh yeah, like this is perfect. When he's like seeing the
word association
abstract stuff. Yeah. And he's just being pissed off. I'm like, this just doesn't fit.
He was like,
it doesn't fit.
Yeah.
I know what they're going for.
Yeah.
Like this guy's mad at the system that he has to be here, but I just don't see Glenn Powell as this angry guy.
Like I thought he would get crazier and more manic as the movie went on, but like he's just too fucking likable and good looking, and he's a little vanilla for me. Like I don't think he does nothing for me, but he's in fucking everything these days.
I think he's miscast in the role.
But I think are there movie stars? Is he a movie star? There are no movie stars. I'll argue
he needs a better fit. There's an action movie for this guy.
Yeah.
This is not it.
Right.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah. Because look, he was hanging on the building in a tiny towel, and
I like that. My favorite scene in the whole movie.
That's your favorite part. Well, let's get to that.
But that's it. But that's so incongruent, right?
Yes.
Like that is a funny scene, but then you're like, this guy's he's supposed to play this angry motherfucker, and he's like in a towel, like dangling around, and he's like, it's kind of like a good time. So it's just the emotions you're supposed to have throughout aren't really there. Whereas like if it was Bruce Willis is like, fuck, man, I have a fucking headache.
Yes.
This is not my day.
Exactly.
And you're like, oh, I could totally see him in a towel, like, this is not my fucking day.
Yeah, that's John McClane right there. Okay, so we know Rug's favorite part is Glenn Powell in a tiny towel. Anthony, favorite part, couple, you got any that stuck out?
I mean, I kind of enjoyed when Michael Cera was in the movie. Like I always enjoy Michael Cera's stuff, and that's where it gets pretty goofy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I enjoyed like some of the action scenes were pretty decent.
Yeah.
With the towel and all that stuff. But I think that again, that even now you're just asking me this. I saw the movie on Thursday night and we're recording on Monday.
Yeah.
I forgot a lot of it.
It is very forgettable.
Yeah.
I mean, I like the jumping off the bridge with where he ran the buggy into the explosion, and I did enjoy the Michael Cera bit, and some of the action scenes were kind of fun. They've been blowing up the YMCA building, and he's in the trunk and stuff. The plane scene was okay. It was just okay.
There wasn't a lot of action in this movie.
I guess there wasn't.
There really wasn't like
long.
A ton of action in this movie. There was just as I said in my review, it stops and goes. It's like it gets going and then it kind of comes to a halt. And then there's stuff happens and they start up again and then it quickly stops. They keep stalling out. So it didn't have the pace that it needed to kind of like get you moving and then building towards the crescendo.
It never kicks into the gear.
Well, with the pace question, here's my follow up to that, because this is what I thought. Does this movie need to be 2 hours and 10 minutes?
I think it needs to be longer.
Really?
Because
I think it needs. I would have gone the other way.
It depends on which movie you want.
Right. You could.
I would have gone a tight like 145.
If you're doing the dystopian movie,
yeah,
then yes, you want to add another 15 minutes of story. Like what I would do to make this movie better is number one, do the exact thing that Imran said in the beginning is give the hunters some personality. I think if you do that, it instantly becomes more interesting.
Sub-Zero is now Plane Zero.
But I don't even understand. The second thing I would do is move the girl up in the girl that he meets further
I
in the
agree.
thing,
Yeah.
and also refer back to his family every once in a while.
Yeah.
Those are 3
And-
easy changes. I agree with all of
Yeah,
that.
I think that would help a lot. And then I would actually, this is the biggest problem I have with this movie. I don't even think I mentioned it in my review, but I don't understand this TV show.
Yeah.
Like, what are they fucking watching? Like, he's hiding all the time. Like, what are they watching every day? Him just not being there?
His tapes. The tapes you have to send in, I don't know, once a week.
So they
or once
tune
a
in
day.
for him to say something on a tape.
Yo, how
Like,
about
that's the worst show I've ever seen.
How about Speed the Wheel, where you just got to run on a hamster thing?
No, that's a dumb show too.
And then it goes
So
faster.
if they figured out a way, if like I don't like the, even though maybe in the book the convention is he's got to like hide amongst the people, but if they had somehow made that experience that people are watching on TV make more sense, like as it's unfolding,
right?
Like, because like literally, like if you're in this show, you would just go like, if I was to be on the Running Man,
Yeah.
and I knew I was gonna try out, I would set up a whole fucking underground base that I could just sit there and live in for a month.
Yeah, but
and
you
they'll
gotta
never
you gotta
find me.
send these tapes out, so you'd have to like pre-tape
Yeah,
all
but
these.
you
and get
you
someone to mail them.
could pre-tape them all and
That's how
send them
they.
in.
That's how they know where he is where the fucking tapes come from, which is
Yeah.
Yeah.
uh
No, I agree with that.
Yeah.
That the way the show is set up was also confusing to even understand like the mechanics of it and why it would be appealing and all that.
Yeah. So like, if I don't even know what Coleman Domingo is doing, he's just talking. He's just reacting to his videos that he's uploading. This is
And then
the
occasionally-
lamest show out. This is the lamest show I've ever seen.
occasionally they find him with the drones, and you can watch all that shit live, right? When
Right.
they're chasing him
Yeah,
down.
but that's like that. There's 2 action scenes in the whole fucking
I
thing.
did like the other 2 hunters and how they got killed. I thought was pretty funny, and how there was like the guys like there's a nervous dude, a negative dude, and a final dude, and you're the final dude. And the first one was just shopping and got shot, and then Katie O'Brien's character at the casino, and then she gets caught by those 2 kids, and they just burn her up. It was good.
I did think it was intriguing that Lee Pace, who's one of the final
Yeah.
hunters, was in the game, and then they offered him
Yeah,
I
same
thought
thing.
that there was potential there with
Yeah.
like the people they hunt. They either you never really escape the game,
right.
you just become part of it. It's like kind of like what Squid Game did.
Yes,
right.
Yes.
So I thought that was intriguing, but the way that Josh Brolin's character could just manipulate the whole game, I was like, this guy can't win. There's no way he would ever win. Like he can manipulate it to a point where the people would never even like want to root for this guy.
Right, which he wants everyone to hate them, and
Because if you can just AI can deep fake everything.
in
and
the
people don't
original
know
novel, he just crashes the plane into off.
Oh,
yes,
does he?
the
Okay.
ending of the novel, spoilers, is he actually kills himself and everybody and crashes the plane. But you can't do that. But wait, before we get to the ending, the fact that he tried to expose them with the tape and then he just changed his voice is something you can actually do really easily right now on your phone.
Oh, yes,
It's
of
kinda
course.
crazy. It's just crazy that I was like, you can just do that. You can do that.
See, he would have to tap into the live feed and then talk to everybody. That would be the way to
Yeah, or
to really
live
do it.
stream on something, which is another gimmick you could do. But it's long because there's a lot of story like in this thing. Like he's in New York, he's in Boston, he goes to that house. These
I would have shortened it.
disguises.
Is the novel 30 days as well?
Yes.
So I would have shortened that. Like then 30 days is just when I heard 30 days, I'm like, how long is this fucking movie?
Yeah.
How much are we going to see?
Yeah, outside of the ending, it's pretty faithful to the novel, which I thought was interesting because I read the wiki fucking synopsis of the
I think
novel.
some things work in books, they don't work in movies.
Well, that's the other
100%.
point. Yes, an adaptation doesn't necessarily make a good movie. So you got to know. So, which is why
Shorten it to like a week.
yeah, I mean, so you can kind of makes you appreciate the 87 Running Man.
Shorten it to a week, and yeah, like that's where the 87 is better.
Yeah.
Shorten it to a week and make it so it's in a confined
Yes,
space.
it's in an arena.
So you're where they're like not an arena, but like a city or something.
Yeah.
Or something like that where you have to force conflict and they can monitor everything, right?
Right.
But like Ruggs said, when it's 30 days and you can travel anywhere, well, fuck.
Yeah, I mean, there was like,
Hide.
there was days.
The game's over.
There was days when they had nothing to show. Like they couldn't find it.
Especially if you can do it preconceived, like you know that you're going to go into this game, you can plan a whole entire thing.
Yeah.
You could have a whole entire plan to how you're going to survive.
Right. And that's where like a book, I'm more interested in a book. You'll follow that because you're like, yeah, I want to see how is he surviving? What's happening? But visually, that's not as interesting to like just watch a guy hide. So then you're always trying to like drum up these ways for him to come out of hiding. Right. And I don't know. It didn't make as much sense.
And I didn't understand the part. So when he goes to the Michael Cera house and Michael Cera's mom is there and she's buying all of this and she sees him and she's about to report him. Then Michael Cera's like, you know what? Fuck it. I want to fight these guys. And he just presses the button. Like, what fucking sense does that make? You don't get an action scene if he doesn't do that. But I thought,
and then they show up in 30 seconds. Yeah, not even.
Yeah, they show up very quickly, and I was like, "That's a weird decision."
And they're in the middle of nowhere.
Yes.
Like, you know, it just makes no sense sometimes.
I like some of the callbacks, like the tube in the car that they in the beginning where they start. That was kind of like the A7 movie. And then, did you notice that Schwarzenegger's face is on the $100 bill?
Yes,
on their money, new dollars.
New dollars, yeah.
New dollars.
Well, the AI is a big callback to the deep fake stuff. Is a big callback.
Oh yeah, yeah. And it's just crazy that he fucking called all this. So just to go over the ending here real quick, the plane he kidnaps that girl and then pretends to have an explosive to get on this plane to Canada and realizes all the hunters are there. Lee Pace, giant individual, by the way. He is so big. He's very intimidating. And then you get that whole confrontation. He shoves Amelia out the door with a parachute, fights and kills Lee Pace and the hunters, and you realize that he was a hunter. And
Josh Brolin's character has offered him a chance to have his own show. Yeah,
Killian's calling him.
He says no.
And the Lee Pace hunter survived 29 days. Yeah, and Killian wants to convert him. He's like, I'm going to kill all of you. And then what exactly happens? Because then you see the plane get shot down, or you go to the video. The YouTuber is like...
So I think here's what happened. Or here's the way that I had some time to think about it. So Josh Brolin's character sends out a video of him saying, I'm going to fucking crash the plane into all of you and all that.
They play that, right.
And then they play that, and the plane is on autopilot going to crash.
Right.
And then he ejects out.
I guess.
And they already had evacuated everyone from the studio? Is that right?
I don't know.
It never hits the studio because they blow it up.
Yeah, it blows up.
Because it blows up.
That's
right.
Over the city.
It blows up.
Yeah.
But then the YouTuber says, oh, look, he's escaped.
Right. You could see the escape pod here.
And because of this groundswell, everyone's like, Richards is alive.
So he's like
then by the time he does another season of The Running Man, the crowd that comes to visit is already turned on.
Yeah, so I do like how he became like a hero for the poor and the working class. But then the next thing you see is his fucking family. They're fine. They weren't killed. And then he's out there with a mask on and he finds them. Okay, so he's alive. And then we go back to the next season of the show. The crowd is rioting. Bobby, the host, quits. Killian tries to host the show himself. They're throwing shit at him, and Ben is right there. Right?
Yeah, too many things happen at once.
Molotov cocktails get thrown. He walks up and just shoots him in the head, and that's it.
Ruggs is right. I think it's too much to process.
This is the better ending. So, of course, they're not going to do the thing where he drives the plane into the building because
do that
September 11th.
Yeah, but that is
So they do the thing where they shoot it down and he ejects.
Yeah.
But as the plane's blowing up and all the stuff, all these flyers are of the zine that is going out.
Right.
The truth, right?
Right.
Then he becomes a martyr, right? Everybody thinks he's dead.
Yeah.
Whatever.
They revolt and take over.
Yeah. And then he kind of, and I think he goes to sees his family first, and then he goes and kills the guy.
Yes, he sees his family first, and then he goes to the studio and kills him.
Yeah, so there should have been some kind of thing in between where we see this revolution that's starting and kind of swelling up, and instead of just you start the show, and all of a sudden everybody's just rioting for no apparent reason.
Right. Well, also what didn't work. I mean, you're right. The ending. They throw in so many things for you to process in the last 5 minutes that happen or whatever. But one of the things that just didn't ring true to me is Killian's character, played by Josh Brolin, has complete control of that the situation and the videos
Right.
and the ship, right?
Right.
Like everything's on autopilot.
Yeah.
So if they were going to blow it up and he had all this control, wouldn't he have just like turned off the eject? Wouldn't he have just kept him there?
You would think so, or make it
Like,
go
how does he just
someplace else.
outsmart him? And he's like, oh, there is an eject button.
That's a good question.
Because didn't he like remote take over the entire fucking plane?
Yeah. Yeah, he was.
So, yeah. So like,
That's very good.
it
That's a
just,
good point.
I don't know. It just was too stacked where I was like, there's no way he can get out of this.
That's a good point. Yeah, it was just a weird, like when it ended, I was like, what the fuck just happened?
That's what exactly
What?
the reaction I
What?
had. And not in like a
not-
profound,
right.
I was more like this, wait a minute. This is
Yeah, the ending is really what it ruins the movie.
I will say,
Yeah.
but Stephen King's endings need to be tweaked. They're not great. And we saw this in The Long Walk, where the ending of that book is the guy just keeps fucking walking and he never wanted to kill a guy.
They're bleak, right? The
Yeah.
endings are kind of bleak.
But generally, a lot of his books they have weird endings. I think the ending to It also, where it's like a big spider, is kind of weird. Like his endings can be improved upon, but they just didn't do a good job, and they wanted Ben to survive and be a hero
Right.
instead of sacrificing himself.
They over-engineered, I think, this
I
thing.
think so. It was so much shit in the back. Also, it made me wonder, is this the same future that's in The Long Walk? Is this the same universe? Feels like. Also, he makes books about walking and running. Like, is it the theme here with Richard Bachman?
That's funny.
It's all about just perambulating different speeds. But the fact, the way they showed it, it's almost like, I was like, this could be a real game show right now on TV, which kind of takes away from the whole like dystopian commentary a little bit.
I mean, kind of, not. I don't
And
know.
then I think the most ironic thing, I made me laugh because the themes of like anti-corporation and surveillance, and then the whole thing ends and it goes, Paramount, a Skydance corporation. I was like, you fuckers, this is a fuck you guys. Like, it's just they're making a thing about their thing that's not biting enough because they've now just, even though it was made before they got bought, but I just thought it was ironic. Edgar Wright been trying to make this movie since 2017, by the way.
Why didn't Edgar Wright put more of his own spin on the movie?
Yeah, I think it's what Rugg said. This is a paycheck movie, and perhaps
Really?
they didn't want.
You said he's been wanting to make this movie. That doesn't indicate a paycheck
Yeah,
movie.
I don't know why he just kind of restrained himself so much.
I think it was because it was dystopian and he was trying to stick to the novel. And this is my opinion. I don't know what the guy's thinking, but
Mhm.
I feel like the Arnold movie already went in the kind of wacky direction.
Yeah.
That he would have gone in if he was directing in the 80s.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
It's already been done. So you're like, what do I do?
And probably there might be a point there too where he's like, well, I got to validate why I'm making this movie, so let's just lean heavy into the book.
yeah, I think that's what happened.
And that's not been done before.
And I think that he could have still done the book and still had some of his personal, but I don't know if what he was pulling from had enough of that stuff. Maybe he needed another pass, another rewrite. Who knows?
It felt very much afterwards I thought about this. It felt like when Marvel hires a big name director and they do a Marvel film, and you're just
Yes.
like, wait a minute, where did all the personality
Yes.
go from the director I was expecting to see?
Yes, that's very accurate. Yeah, I felt like that.
Because if you just Edgar Wright it up,
Yeah.
maybe that movie's better. I don't know.
Maybe it's a little more memorable. Maybe it sticks out, but
It's like he's holding himself back,
Yeah.
and then because of that, there's just a lot of weird things with the Edgar Wright part of it, the old movie,
I think
and the
yes.
fact that the novel is probably more serious.
Yeah, and dark. I mean, I think we hit on really the reasons why this movie kind of doesn't completely work. It's Glenn Powell. It's trying to stay true to the book. It's not putting enough of his style in it.
Yeah.
It all just coalesced in this thing, unfortunately. But there's some good. So with that, let's give us a rating and maybe a ranking of Edgar Wright movies you have seen. Of course, some of his standouts being the Cornetto trilogy, which is Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz, World's End. You have Scott Pilgrim versus the World, Baby Driver. You have Last Night in Soho from a couple years ago. Anthony, what would you give it?
5 out of 10.
Okay.
I very much like the original Running Man much more. And I've only seen this one, Baby Driver, Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, as far as Running Man movie or Edgar Wright movies.
Yeah.
And I might say this is the last of the three.
Yeah.
And I don't like Scott Pilgrim.
Oh shit! But at least that's got some personality.
Yeah, this one doesn't have the personality I expected. It wasn't what I expected, which maybe is one of my own fault. But I think there's also the reasons we discussed of why maybe it didn't completely work. But yeah, I'd take the OG Running Man all day.
Oh, absolutely. Rugs. Same question. Score, ranking, better or worse than the OG?
It's probably, I would say, not my favorite Edgar Wright film.
Yeah.
I think Baby Driver, Scott Pilgrim, and the Cornetto trilogy are great. Yeah. And this one's definitely beneath those. But if I was going to give it a score, I'd probably give it a 6.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can't really recommend it. That would be a 7 if it was be good enough to recommend. But I think it's got production value. It's got the Blade Runner-esque setting, the world building.
The world building was cool. The look of it was very nicely done.
It just doesn't. The ending just kind of ruins the movie.
Yeah.
So, what was the other question?
Better or worse than the OG? It's pretty easy.
Oh no, it's not better. I have enough room for my fist because I'm going to ram it in your stomach and rip out your goddamn spine.
That's also a great line.
Sub-Zero, Plane Zero.
Plane Zero. I mean, come on. You can't. Whatever. Even that's a fucking great Arnold movie.
When he staples the paper on him.
Yes.
Yeah. Fucking great movie.
I also feel like this is a 6. I watched the first one on repeat all day over this. Absolutely. And I think there's also maybe, I've not seen Last Night in Soho. I kind of want to see that, but it's all right. It's probably my least favorite Edgar Wright movie here, which is very disappointing. It's disappointing.
Yeah, it's disappointing.
I was expecting some fucking magic.
It's a misfire.
It's not there.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Well, what are you going to do?
You have it all, right?
I think a person who's going to a movie and just wants to see an action movie will be fine with it, though.
Yeah, like it's okay in that. It's too long for the action bits, but the action is decent enough, but I don't even know if I'd recommend.
I had people laughing in my audience.
See, I didn't even think the humor was that great. I maybe chuckled once.
There were people laughing during like some of the Coleman Domingo stuff when he's narrating
over
something.
The top, yeah.
Yeah.
When he's like mad, I don't know. It was just